And then the next video won't actually have any game footage. It will just be a face cam of me screaming for several hours.
That sounds good.
Only stopping.
Will you
Oh,
be doing a Shadow of the Colossus vid?
oh yeah, that's what it is. It's me playing Shadow of the Colossus, but you can't tell because
Yeah.
there's no game footage, and I never mention Shadow of the Colossus. I'm just screaming.
Will there be any more Deus Ex?
Yes, I'm actually like rubbing that against my groin while playing Shadow of the Colossus. That's what screaming's about.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Which
They're not
version?
screams of horror.
The...
You actually
Mm,
have played DRM City too, haven't you?
yeah. Do you want to talk about that?
Like I've never played it, and in fact would boycott it even if I did want to play it. So
It's, they're fixing it. It's still a load of bull, but they're fixing it.
isn't that always the way? Oh my,
Yeah.
it hasn't even been a month, has it, since the whole Dungeon Keeper on iOS thing? That
Oh,
our
I feel
beloved.
sorry for anybody that loved the Dungeon Keeper games.
Oh, it just I kind of share their pain
Yeah.
because a certain RoboCop remake has just recently come out.
Man.
I feel
Right, Gary Oldman is in the remake of RoboCop.
who is that? What?
And Gary Oldman, do you
Who?
not know who Gary
I
Oldman
know
is?
very little about current Hollywood people now.
Okay, well he's fairly popular with the masses,
I
I
thought you meant
believe.
Gary Coleman, like in Postal 2 for a
No,
second.
no, not Gary Cole.
What you talking about, Callum?
Gary Coleman.
Pretty sure he's dead, actually.
He is.
Feel free to ring up and correct me, Gary Coleman, if you're not dead.
Bring, bring,
Or
bring,
in fact, ring
bring.
up even if you are dead and somehow able to hear me.
Suddenly ghosts are real. Who would have thunk it?
Uh,
But yeah, what was I saying? Gary Oldman. Yeah. Apparently he thinks that RoboCop is better than the Lord of the Rings films.
what a comparison to make.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever even like considered RoboCop and Lord of the Rings in the same sentence before.
And I'm not talking about the original, I'm talking about the remake. Robo remake.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, only 2 years after Total Remake this happens to me.
What
It would be
next?
Highlander next. It would be bloody Highlander
Highlander.
next.
Oh man.
I mean, Highlander as a
Imagine that with
series.
Demolition Man.
Wait, what?
Demolition Man remake.
I'm not putting anything beyond them at this point. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Please, people, do not go and see these bloody remakes. It's like you, Callum, with your pre-orders. He learned his lesson. He was supporting a problem, but he learned his
Even
lesson.
though it sort of worked out, I learnt my lesson.
There you
You
go.
should too. Learn from my mistakes. God damn it. Don't go see remakes of films which are timeless classics.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Mo?
No,
No.
no, uh-oh,
Uh-oh.
and other words.
Beginning with O.
The incredibly difficult decision now has to be made as to whether this technically is a different video what we're talking about now. So I was trying to bring it to some sort of conclusion, then we kind of almost.
I think this entire thing, you could literally just slap the words tries on podcast with pals or whatever you want to call it.
You think
And
my
this
name
entire
actually
thing,
carries some sort of brand recognition? You
I don't
think?
know, what do you want to call these things? Because you can't just keep slapping tries on and everything.
Well, the podcast. It's like Skyrim podcast, thingy
What about
podcast.
a let's talk or a
Let,
let's chat?
let's chinwag.
Let's chinwag. Are we
Chinwag is
calling
a
that?
terribly underused term, so
Let's have a chinwag.
mm. It does kind of sound a bit like some sort of euphemism, but
Who knows? It's the internet. Anything goes.
oh dear. I'm waiting for a topic. I gave you one. I said, let's talk about reviews and how you hate them.
Yeah, well, I hate them because of many reasons, but I don't want to talk about any of them because I'm going to get annoyed. I don't want to get more annoyed than I am. All right. I've got a topic for you.
Oh,
Okay, so Kieran,
oh,
you love co-op. You love couch co-op.
oh yeah.
Why do you hate online co-op?
I don't hate online co-op. It's just it's like playing D&D over Skype. You lose something. It's not quite the same.
Yeah, yeah.
And
For one thing, it doesn't go on for nearly as long as you want it to. For
yeah,
another, you miss the interaction with other people.
yeah. Plus, you kind of end up talking over people because it's much harder to tell when people try to
Yeah,
talk, and you can't throw dice at people either, which is clearly a massive problem with Skype D&D.
huge problem.
So, are you continuing with this topic of yours, or is that just?
Well, why, Kieran? Why? I can't help me here.
I don't. I don't hate online co-op. It's just kind of
I know
not
you
nearly as
dislike it
nice.
because of all the flaws with it and stuff.
I would just so much. I don't hate online co-op so much as hate the fact that it's been massively prioritized at the expense of local co-op in recent years.
But
To the
aren't you happy that at least games do include some form of co-op,
yeah, but
whether it be couch or
there was a
otherwise?
time when like there were games that you would never even think might have co-op, like Destroy Humans 2 had a really weird co-op
Hello.
mode. Oh, are you talking to someone? What's happened? What? Oh God, technical difficulties.
Sorry, you suddenly you suddenly blanked out for a bit there.
Oh, okay. Well, it'll turn up on the recording when I say, won't it? But
Yeah.
what did you last hear me say?
Anyway,
What did you last
you
hear me?
said uh, 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 uh,
Well,
Destroy All Humans 2 had a surprisingly good co-op.
yes, yeah, that's what I said, and then you said something, and I stopped talking. Ugh. But there was a time when co-op was kind of put into games that you might not even think it would work. Like San Andreas, even on PS2, had this really kind of limited but hilarious co-op mode where you could run
It
around.
was a fairly strange co-op mode. I'll give it that.
You can really tell that they were pushing the PS2 and what it could get away with.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it was slightly less terrible on Xbox. But it was just so
Did it ever
amazing.
come out on Xbox?
Yeah, even Vice City did eventually because they did that double pack of GTA 3 and Vice City, I think, and that's when Xbox got Vice City. I don't think they ever got G.
Hmm.
No, they did. What did I just say? They did get G. There was some sort of pack where they got Vice City, but I never
You
even
said that
realized. Yes. What?
you said that San Andreas came to the Xbox.
It did, but I'm quite certain it did. Is this yes? Oh God. I wasn't sure if it was just being really quiet or something, but no, we've had an internet connection problem. Oh, there you are. Hello. No, no, he's gone. Damn it. It kind of. Oh. Well, once again. Oh,
Oh.
I didn't even. I didn't even have time to settle the viewers down for another intermission session there.
What happened to the Wombles,
That
Kieran?
music, by the way. No, actually, no, you were doing the Wombles music there, but my intermission music that I always use comes from Destroy Humans. So
Oh,
it's topical.
that is
I
topical.
was so happy when I found out the actual name of it so I could find it. Oh, it's Summer Samba, by the way.
Oh,
At least
there
I
you go.
think. I can't remember off
If
the top
you,
of my head.
if you too wish to use the same intermission music as Kieran, you now know what it is.
Yep, privilege information.
But anyways,
Co-op.
co-op.
But my point
Okay, do you
was,
think?
what?
Yeah, what's your point? What's your point, Kieran?
Well,
Where are you
it was
going
just
with this?
I was trying to say there was a time when they kind of put local co-op in pretty much anything that seemed like it would work for it. Whereas these days it seems like local co-op is very much the exception to the rule. It's got to the point where they will like proudly advertise something like Borderlands as having local co-op because it's so unusual.
Mm.
And I wonder if it's partially at least. I'm sure it's mainly because there's a much bigger focus on online generally already these days, but I wonder if it's also partially because it's not the current gen anymore, it's the old gen, but you know, the PS3 and the 360 are pretty bloody old by this point. So
Yeah,
a
I
lot
think.
of
Well, the 360 is what, like 8 years old?
it's amazing how old it actually is, yes.
Yeah, the
Um,
PS3 is 7. It came
yeah,
out the year after.
Jesus. I
Bloody hell.
remember, I
And yet
remember,
it can still pump out games such as The Last of Us, which look amazing.
oh yeah. I'm sure those realistic, bland aesthetics will look good in 5 years, don't you worry.
What are you talking about? You, of course, you've never played it,
I
Kieran.
can look. No, I'm not. I don't need to play it to look at the like visual style and know that they're going for a generic, realistic graphical style that will inevitably
Yeah,
age.
well, it works. It looks beautiful, man.
Snake Eater still looks good. It's
Snake Eater looks like dog crap.
got a man who
Even
shoots
the HD
beam.
version. Most HD versions look like dog crap.
But you can listen to that song in HD now.
Yeah, but it doesn't excuse the graphics style. If a game has a decent graphics style, then maybe it could stand the test of
Well,
time.
yeah, that's my argument. Yes, is
But if
I
it
shouldn't
goes
even
for
use.
like the
Okay,
realistic
okay.
style that even Snake Eater goes for, it's not gonna
I
last as long.
Snake Eater has a cartoonish realism to it.
No, it still seems real to me.
Uh, okay, that's a bad example. Let's say Time Splitters. Time Splitters 2
Time Splitters,
still looks
it does
beautiful.
that. It does that half cartoon, half realism thing, though, doesn't it?
Well,
Time
I'd
Splitters.
say more Future Perfect is slightly more realistic-y looking. It's less exagger. It's less caricature-y than Splitters
Mm,
2 is. And even Second Sight has that very Time Splitters 2 look, but it's I think just the color palette makes it look less cartoonish in Second Sight.
mm. Actually, I know a good game that does the sort of cartoony look well is Rage.
That has a cartoony look.
Yeah, because well, it's built by the same guys that did do Time Splitters, so it's like
Did you
the
say
Time Splitters look.
You said Rage, right?
Yeah, Rage. It's made by
Rage
ID
by id
or id.
Software, yes.
Yeah,
id Software who
and that,
perpetually spell their name with no capitals, so it's incredibly stupid to write.
yeah, but like you can kind of see the similarities, albeit one of them is from the future and one of them is from the past. But like you can sort of see the similarities between a Time Splitters character and a Rage character. They sort of have that same kind of cartoony look.
I'm very surprised by that because I'm again I've not played Rage for the reason that I've heard very few good things about it. It's like, oh, the animation's really good. Shame about everything else.
Mm.
But
I
what
do
I
love Rage. I love to just
oh,
drive around in Rage. It's one of those games where it's like you don't take it too seriously. Just
it,
grab a few
well, the problem with
guns,
that
get a
is
decent car.
from what I understand, it seems to try to take itself seriously is the problem.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you just deny it that, then it's okay.
Anyway, I have a better question though.
Go on then.
Since you brought up id,
Id.
have you played Doom 3?
Doom 3. Which one? The newer one or
Well,
the older
the
one?
older one, whatever.
My brother bought Doom 3 about, what, like 5 years ago, something like that.
The time scale is not particularly relevant.
True. But, like, yeah, it matters in the context of what I'm going to say next.
Fine.
Because at that time, I was not that big into, survival horror kind of games,
Oh,
which Doom 3 seems to try to want to be.
it wants to be System Shock.
Yeah. So I didn't really play that much of it. I played like the opening level, and that was probably about it.
Hmm.
And then I just got bored and moved on.
You have seen most of the game, from my experience, if you've played the first hour. That
Right.
really is Doom 3's problem, isn't it? It's like, oh, this seems promising. It's kind of, it's an action horror thing like Dead Space. It's not trying to be really serious horror. It just makes you jump every now and then. I wonder what comes next. This same bloody thing. All the mysterious magical cupboards with monsters in them.
Yeah.
Oh, and the magical future with laser guns and demons and such, but no one can think to put a torch on a gun with some tape.
Mm.
Uh, you try to make your game take itself seriously. That's when people point out plot holes. Yeah, like Time Splitters. Time Splitters doesn't bloody care about being serious.
Of
You know.
course not. Time Splitters though is like, let's have crazy fun in the past and the future.
Yeah. It's time to
Whereas Doom
split.
is like, hell is on Mars. Oh my god, everybody. Oh. I mean, Doom itself, I don't think really took itself that seriously.
No. It did kind of have that kind of po-faced 90s-ness,
Yeah.
but
Which is kind of strange considering it went from Doom to Doom 3, where it's like, oh my god, generic space marine, I've got to save everyone. Ooh, hell.
Doom 3 in a nutshell. That was very accurate. Thank you.
Well, I try. But yeah. So Doom 3, BFG edition, give it a miss.
Or just Doom 3 in general, probably give it a miss.
The entire Doom lineup of games, other than one, you can pretty much just miss.
Even Doom 1 I kind of find hard to play just because I've never found like a modern mouse control version of it. I'm
Well,
sure it
apparently there are quite a
exists.
few there are quite a few mods out there
I'm
that
sure it exists.
sort
Someone's
it
done
out
that.
for you.
But it's like trying to play GoldenEye 64, which is kind of like Time Splitters Zero, really. But not GoldenEye 64, you know what I mean? There's only one GoldenEye game of any worth.
Yeah.
It's basically Time Splitters Zero, but because of the N, I have two N64 controllers, so I have the two sticks. But that's one of the great mysteries of life is what they were trying to go for with the N64 controller, isn't it?
Who knows?
Well, I think we've given up any pretense of having an overarching topic or whatever we're talking about now.
This is just conversation now. This is proper podcasting now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're beyond the veil.
And then we'll start saying, thing is, over and over again.
Oh, please don't.
But the thing is, they expect a
I
stupid
spent an
catchphrase.
entire summer working for my dad with nothing but those podcasts. So I pretty much listened to their entire podcast lineup about 50 times.
So the thing is, you're kind of sick of it now.
So the thing is, I am sort of kind of sick of it. I mean, I go back to it every now and again,
That
but
was funny because just as you said, thing is, the sound corrupted for you. So it's Skype
the
didn't
thing
want to let
is, my
you.
sound corrupted.
Uh,
I
quality
suppose the
podcasting.
next topic we should discuss is what's
Oh,
coming up on your channel, Kieran.
what's coming up on my channel is like the 12 videos I recorded 2 months ago, knowing that I'd be at uni for several months. So look forward to
Yeah,
those. It's not like I'm saying, well, this Sunday I'm thinking of trying this crazy new thing. No, it's all ready, it's done. It's
it's
ready to
done.
go.
It's dusted. Anything that's coming out now will be things that have already been recorded months in advance.
Yep.
So to ask him to play something now is to ask for a video to come out in the next few months.
Yep. In 3 months, when you can record things again, maybe you should do this. Ah, this is assuming. Let's actually have a topic, so because if I was listening to this now, I'd be like, dear God, find a topic. Dear God.
All right, all right. Do you have
People
one
on
in
YouTube
mind?
have no attention spans. It's the
I
first
mean,
rule of
personally, I
YouTube.
think people on YouTube just they don't really care what
Actually,
goes
no,
on.
no,
It's
no,
just
no.
something in the background
Can I just correct
while they're
myself?
playing
I'm
games or
completely
something.
wrong.
You
People on YouTube must have an attention span, because I've seen PewDiePie. There's like 200 episodes of Happy Wheels,
Oh
and
my
even if they're
God.
3 minutes long, that's several hours of Happy Wheels.
How much Happy Wheels can one person take in? Then
Uh,
again, it's not as bad as Northern Lion and his like 700 episodes of The Binding of Isaac.
I have no actual Northern Lion experience outside of him being on one of the co-optional podcasts at one point, but I think you just dealt him a pretty heavy insult with that negative comparison to PewDiePie.
I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm just saying you probably should have given up by now.
What was it? Dark Souls, you said?
Dark Souls? No, The Binding of Isaac.
I don't know why I thought you said Dark Souls. I couldn't actually remember what you
You've
said. And
got
then,
Dark Souls in the brain. Speaking of Dark Souls 2 comes out soon.
oh Jesus Christ! And so
Next
does
month, in fact.
you know what else comes out soon that has been in perpetual development, whatever, for ages? Is the new Thief.
Oh God, I'm really worried about the
I'm
new
so
Thief.
worried about the new Thief. God, there was so much weird crap they were trying to put into it. It's like, let's put an RPG leveling up thing, but no. Let's put like a quick time event combat system. No. There's mixing something up, and then there's like putting something in that
Completely
seems,
doing everything all over again.
you know,
Remember where
you
you came from, Thief, new Thief.
and it's not. This isn't like when a shooter sequel comes out and it's exactly the same. We've got enough shooters. I don't
Call of
mind.
Duty.
I would not mind if a new Thief came out and it was just like a glorified HD expansion pack for Thief 2. I wouldn't mind because there's no good stealth games at the moment. Ugh, like
Yeah.
Hitman supposedly has abandoned us.
Although apparently they're bringing in the next Hitman game, they're bringing back everything that everybody wanted. Apparently.
I kind of get these mixed feelings though because Hitman and Splinter Cell were kind of stagnant franchises, but Hitman in particular, not other than Deus Ex and Thief, I cannot think of any games to compare to Hitman. And even that's a vague resemblance. They just have open levels with stealthy mechanics. I can think of no other comparison. Hitman is quite a unique beast, which has made
Hmm.
it such a shame that they're like, let's take those open levels and make them not be open anymore. And you know those cool little one-off stories that were interesting and had weird characters, like bloody you go into a meat factory that's being used for a BDSM rave and kill the obese Scotsman by poisoning his chicken. But that's more story than Dead Space 2 right there.
Hey, hey,
I
that's a low
JK.
blow, man.
JK mostly.
Honestly. Yeah, I don't think Hitman really works to have one massive story. You do kind of need lots of little ones.
Yeah, because that was one of my problems with Blood Money was all the other ones were kind of like globe trotting greatest hits of his assassination career, and then most of Blood Money is set in the States, and it's all over the States, but it's still kind
Mm.
of one continent, pretty much.
It does have some pretty fun levels in it, though.
Oh yeah, like the opera, the bloody. There's another one I was going about.
Isn't there like the neighborhood one where you've got to get the witness?
That's not my favorite, but it does have two amazing things in it.
Yeah.
One of them is the infinitely deep bin lorry, which you can fit infinite corpses into, and the other thing is that who was it? Was it like the Aussie gamer or someone who did that video where it's possible to run into the house, make the guy chase you out, and then his own secret service run him over. So you can
I'm
get
not sure. I
silent.
know that you were the one who told me about it, but I never really followed up on it.
Yeah,
Because like, I
there's
think what you said was he dressed up as a clown
I can't remember the
and ran
exact.
in,
Yeah,
made a fuss, and then ran back out, and then got run over.
but
Well, not him, but
the
the
beautiful thing is
vehicle.
he got silent assassin ranking for that. Which, if you don't understand how Hitman works, that's what you're supposed to get if you kill your targets with no one else dying, no one else raising the alarm. But he ran in, made as much noise as possible, and ran out, and still somehow got that award.
Hmm.
Beautiful.
Oh fuck me! Do you know what? There is one game which does use stealth, albeit it's not traditional stealth,
Oh,
but it does sort of use it,
go on.
and that would be Payday 2.
Which I have no knowledge of outside of it looking
It's a
quite
bank
fun.
heist game,
Well, I know that.
and essentially, like the first time you enter a bank, the ideal solution would be to make sure everybody stays quiet. Everyone stays calm. All you want to do is open the vault door, get the money, and leave as quickly and as silently as possible. So, no raising the alarms, no killing civilians, making sure
Oh,
nobody spots you from the outside. And it's really quite interesting because you can do it on your own, and the AI constantly fuck everything up. But you can do it on your with a team of people, and if everybody knows their jobs, if everybody knows what they are doing, you could have really, really cool silent bank heists.
oh,
It's really quite interesting.
that does sound very cool. Yes. It's kind of interesting. That kind of makes me. I have something of a topic, if you don't mind, that's relevant to that.
Oh, go right ahead.
You see, because there are a lot of co-op games that it's very fun to just bugger around with. Like you can play Time Splitters. Time Splitters is not the most balanced game in the world. There are some woefully overpowered weapons, but they're hilarious. You can also unlock the banana gun, and one of the greatest unlockables in any game ever, which is the human gun sound effects. They replace all
Speaking of
the...
which, Borderlands 2, there is one
Oh,
gun.
oh,
But carry on.
Time Splitters did it. But you
Yeah, but
unlock your...
Borderlands does it to such an annoying extent.
Whatever, whatever. At least they have bona fides, so they can call that their own.
Oh,
Uh,
God.
at least we have bona fides. At the end of the day, we will always have bona fides. But before I got distracted by the human gun sounds, I was going to say there's a whole bunch of co-op games you can just mess around with friends and you don't worry about, actually being competent at. But I've played very few co-op games where you actually have to, and they make it fun, where you actually have to work together and do it. My problem is I've very few like co-op games that I'm good at and someone else is good at. Like
Right.
Chaos Theory, I always loved the split screen mode in that, even though it was really buggy and weird and the AI kind of glitched out all the time. But I've never met anyone who's actually very good at Splinter. Like, I don't. I'm probably not good at Splinter Cell. Let's rephrase it. I've never met anyone who would actually
Who's
play
good at
much Splinter
Splinter Cell?
Cell. Yes, they weren't
Right.
even as good as me, if we can even refer to me as being good at Splinter Cell. Let's put it that way. Let's be diplomatic about it. But that's true. Ever since I played Portal 2's co-op,
Well, you didn't really play it. I just kind of
I
directed
I
you.
played it before you. You played it with
Oh,
me,
right. All right. Yeah, you played it with
Connor.
yeah.
Yeah, we got to like the second last bit in the game, and then he went home, and we never got back to playing it again. We didn't realize we were so close to the end. So I
Yeah.
replayed all of it with you, and then realized, oh, we were like 20 minutes from the end. Bloody.
How fast did we finish that, by the way?
Uh,
Like ridiculous speeds.
mm. I always remember one of my defining memories of Portal 2 is whenever you would get stuck. This happened mainly with me and Connor because it was our first experience. But whenever we'd get stuck in a particularly hard puzzle for like an hour, after a while we would just end up kind of getting weirdly philosophical, like maybe we're just not meant to finish. We would just sit around not even trying to beat the puzzle, just shooting portals at the floor, just going, maybe we're meant to be stuck here. It was. I felt because Portal was just one of those games. You feel like it will probably try to mess with you at some point.
I wouldn't put it past the
No.
guys at Valve.
You know what I want?
Mm.
Did you ever hear about the what originally Portal 2 was meant to be?
Oh,
F-stop.
yeah.
I want that to come out. Because I like Portal 2, but it was kind of the kind of big Hollywood sequel to the unexpected indie triumph. I don't. It's not really indie Portal, is it? But you know what I
Hmm.
mean. No one expected Portal to be as ludicrously amazing as it was. Is this the part where you point at commands and I don't really like Portal? Mm, no.
Portal.
What?
Portal's fine. Portal's
Oh,
fun.
okay. I just feel the need to check that the man who watched Lost through twice
Which
is
you
on,
constantly have to keep reminding people.
because it's kind of like saying I think Hitler had a point.
Well, you know. No, no. Can't say that. Can't say that live on the internet.
What?
That's some secret places.
This is the second time in 2 hours I've unsubtly suggested you might be a Nazi. Something may be
I'm not a
wrong.
Nazi. I'm not a Nazi.
But why did you bring it up then?
Yet.
What a suspicious
I
topic to
don't.
bring up.
I don't bring this up. This is you. You keep constantly bringing up the Hitler situation.
Who's talking about Hitler? Why are you talking about what? What?
Kieran,
Hello.
can we please move on?
Well, I was trying to talk about how I
You being a
want.
Nazi?
Well, that too. But mainly, you know, eh, who, who, who will
Portal
not
is
talk
fun.
about
Portal
Portal?
2 is
Taxist
fun with
verboten.
other people.
What?
'Cause I never, right, the thing with Portal 2 is I never finished the single player. I only ever did the co-op.
Oh, really?
It was only really quite recently that I actually did finish the single player.
What do you think of it?
I, I went through it all in one session, and there wasn't really anything wrong with it. It's just it's not really as fun the second time around, if that makes any sense.
I
Because
think. Hmm.
you go from playing Portal 1, which is, single player, and then you go to Portal 2, which has the possibilities of co-op. So you don't really want to go back to the single player Portal stuff.
Well, it's not just that it's still single player. It's just that it's kind of, they do new things with it. They introduce new crap, and they do like a much more like character-based story than the original.
Yeah, I guess,
But
but
still.
like I think the added possibility of another person there
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh,
is just a lot better.
I do think the most interesting thing about Portal 2 was the co-op. The single player kind of took a back seat, but
Yeah, which makes me scared that if they ever do a Portal 3, which I hope they don't,
yeah, I don't really want to
what
Portal
are they going
3.
to do to top it?
I
Just keep adding more players? Because I
this
don't think that would work.
this kind of reminds me of what I tried to say in that Deus Ex podcast I did with Cultured Soda. Was I really hope for these new Deus Ex things they're doing that they. I'm so sick of the kind of like, oh, we're trying to save the world, most predictable plot in the world, and now for the sequel, we're trying to save the world even more with bigger explosions. And
Mm.
I would really like if they kind of did a side story on a smaller scale with much more focus. Maybe we could actually have. JC Denton has a bit of a character, but he is a very kind of blank slate character, very deliberately.
Well, he's supposed to be you. You are supposed to put your
Pretty
stuff into
much.
that character.
But he does have some moments where he'll say something quite specific without you, like, picking. He goes on some political rambles when he talks to certain characters, but
Mm.
that sort of thing. Just which brings us all straight back to one of the things you mentioned right at the beginning of this epic ramble, which was the topic of in games protagonists. You can have them be a blank slate, or you can have them actually be a character of their own right. And where do you draw the line? That's always an interesting thing. And I
I think
said,
you draw.
oh,
Well, you said that you dislike having. Well, I'm not sure you said dislike.
I
You
don't
said you
think.
prefer to have a blank slate character, which
Mm,
means you could put more emphasis on your
no, no,
choices
no.
and what you do.
No, what I
At
said
least
was,
that's what
I said that I liked Isaac Clarke in Dead Space better as a blank slate because when they actually tried to give him a character, he still didn't have a character, but now he said things constantly, which was just annoying. And I got more character from like this silent guy who like groaned frantically as he tried to stomp on zombies. That was a more just suitable character for Dead Space than the other
Yeah,
one.
well, if you're going to go into a sequel with Dead Space, you can't just have him silent all the time. I mean, even Halo did
Mm.
that. They had a silent Master Chief in one, and then in two,
Oh
he
god,
talked a
the
little
exact
bit,
same
and in
thing happened
three, he
then.
talked a bit more, and in four, he's talking all over the place. God knows what they're doing with five.
I will remember
Halo's a
the
mess right now.
I remember the Halo 5 reveal to the end of my days because it was just like, oh, wait, well, I think it was Halo 5 they did this for, I can't quite remember. You know, it's like, oh, it's some guy in a desert, it looks a bit like
Yeah,
Dune, this
that
is
was on five.
interesting. And then he goes up to a cliff and he has this weird robe on, and this big, weird, crystally, whatever the hell it is appears, and I'm like, holy crap, what the hell is this? And it's like, and you're thinking in the back of your head, it's probably just going to be like Destiny, it's probably just going to be another kind of predictable sci-fi shooter, but at least it looks different with this weird stuff going on. And then a big flap of wind comes along and he just blows off the hood and it's Master Chief. And you're like, oh god damn it, Microsoft! It just seemed like such a deliberate cock tease.
Do you know what? You'd probably enjoy MMOs, I think. Because, like with MMOs, you get given all of these tools to make a character that is very you, but at the same time, you still have a character that is independent.
Hmm. Is that like that Age of Conan thing where they try to say that you're the chosen one, but yet everyone else is having the same thing said to them? And not in the
Well,
deliberate way
no,
like in
in
Dark
the Elder
Souls.
Scrolls Online, apparently nobody is the chosen one. Everybody's just sort of like a, literally just like a basic soldier.
Oh, I don't know.
They're taking like the Oblivion approach to things, where you are defined by your actions, not by what you were born into, not the way that
Well,
Skyrim did things.
a man
Ooh, I
is
read that.
defined by his actions, not his memory. We went just barely 2 hours before I made a Total Recall joke. You're welcome.
I swear you've made one before now.
I don't think I'm not sure if it was a joke. It was just a mention of Total Remake and a big
Oh,
sigh
thanks.
afterwards.
Listen.
Just say. I think we'll I kind of want to end this at 11, really.
You want to end at 11. All right.
But by all means, if you have an
All right.
amazing topic, I could be persuaded.
I guess, um, okay. Speaking for your channel,
Oh,
now that we've had this conversation
whatever the hell this is, yeah.
about, we've had this conversation about like story and what games you like and things like that. Are you more inclined to do more co-op games, perhaps, for your channel?
I didn't see what the story to co-op connection there was.
I don't know. I'm just trying to make a discussion out of nothing in a way. But are you more inclined now that we've had this? Are
I,
you willing to give it a go?
I have given it a go before. I wasn't aware you thought this was an issue. What is
I
this?
don't know where this is going, to be honest. You can already just cut all this.
Like,
Just say goodbye and we'll end it.
no, come on, come on.
Don't
I'm,
know where I'm
I'm
going.
like tickling your chin, trying to tease a topic out of you. Come on, come on.
Co-op games. Co-op games with story. Okay, okay. Dead Space 3. Will you play Dead
I
Space 3 with me?
don't own it. That's a bit of a roadblock, but not insurmountable.
If I buy you a copy of Dead Space 3
I'm sure
and
it's
put
like
it in your
six
hands the
quid.
minute you come back home, would you play it with me?
I
Knowing
would,
for the fact that it is only online co-op,
yeah.
it's Dead Space, and it will have cutscenes.
Not just cutscenes, a whole arse load of annoying cutscenes. If
Also,
number
bear in
two,
mind that one character will have more cutscenes than the other character.
yeah, but that is kind of the one thing is I was cynical when I heard about this whole weird thing Dead Space 3 apparently does, because I'm like, that's a cool idea, but this is Dead Space. It's not like if a new frictional game would come out and said, like, we've got a co-op mode, but here's the thing, you don't know what the other player's seeing, they can see freaky shit, and you don't know what's happening, you get confused. And I'm like, that's an interesting idea, Mr. Developer actually known for good horror games. Go on. But this is Dead Space, which is action first and horror an increasingly distant second. So,
So
yeah.
that's a no then.
Honestly, if it's only the fact that Dead Space 3 is co-op, that's like the most defining, interesting thing now. If it
Yeah.
was just Dead Space 2 again, I'd be less likely to bother with it. But the fact that it's got a co-op mode that supposedly does something interesting, it is kind of interesting. But
Okay.
here's a question.
Okay.
Here's a question. Oh, Dead Space fan, have you ever bought any ammo in Dead Space 3 with real money?
No,
You're not a
because
noob.
that's not a thing that you do.
No,
No.
I.
You can buy like the pre-order guns, and you can buy suits. There are different suits, and also there's the one piece of story DLC that they brought out. I did buy the story DLC because it's like the proper ending to the game, which they should have
Oh,
included in the actual game.
so you were
So
fine to pay
fuck
money
you,
with it.
EA. Fuck
So you
you.
were fine to pay money with it for it then.
Yeah, I wanted the
Ah,
proper ending to it because the original ending kind of
that's
sucks.
what YouTube is for. That is what
Yeah,
I
but I
would
didn't.
do. That is what I would do.
It's Dead Space. It's one of the. I played the game
Uh,
all the
uh,
way
uh,
through. I want to get
This
the proper ending. I
this
don't
is what
care about.
this is what they do. This is what they do. You've played right into their hands. It's
No,
like, oh,
because I
you've played three
no,
games. I want to see the ending.
doing
Money,
this to me.
please. Money, please. No, I mean, I can't speak for. I've never had this happen to me where I've been really into a story and then they're like, oh, here's just the paywall at the end, so you have to pay to see the proper ending. But
Yeah,
I would have to be massively into the story to not just give them the finger and watch it on YouTube out of just spite, because I bought your bloody game. Where's the bloody conclusion to the story you set up? I mean,
yeah,
it looks Final Fantasy something or other did that a few years ago, and of course, there are already people who just will buy anything that has Final Fantasy in the name, apparently, so that didn't bother them.
yeah. Well, you
Final
know.
Fantasy 13 3 versus Lightning Returns Fantasy versus Lightning
Mm,
3.
well, what's the new one that's coming out? The one that's supposedly actually good.
I thought that was
Like
it. Final
15?
Fantasy
No, Final
versus
Fantasy
13
15.
15. Oh,
No. The 13 series is garbage. All of it's just garbage. 14 was the second MMO that they brought out, which people thought was okay, but was a
well,
bit too
no,
much like WoW.
no, they thought it
And
was
I think
okay. You've,
15 is the one that
no,
looks okay.
you're forgetting 14 came out, everyone hated it, and then they spent a year fixing
Oh yeah,
it,
they did do that,
and then it
didn't
came
they?
out and it was just okay, apparently.
So it's okay. It's nothing to brag about.
Oh, and then they said you can't put any footage of it on YouTube, so bring on the negative PR.
Yeah, but like 15, if 15 turns out the way that everybody thinks it's going to turn out, which is fantastic, then maybe I'll look into it again. Maybe it'll get me more excited for Final Fantasy. But as it stands,
Hey, Callum,
fuck EA.
Callum,
Yeah.
you get excited about Final Fantasy. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. Has that been
We are
lost
ending
on you?
this. We are ending this right now. Cut. Cut.
No, no.
End it.
No,
End
because
it.
because I
End
saw.
it. I'm not talking anymore.
No. I will change the topic, but it's relevant because someone found an amazing video. It's like a clip from Big Bang Theory where they replaced the canned laughter with the Titus laugh from Final Fantasy X.
Does it make the show funnier?
It does, because it just kind of points out the obnoxiousness of canned laughter for one thing, but it genuinely is more amusing. It's just this big awkward pause and then Titus laughing in the background. It's just such a captivatingly annoying sound.
Uh,
I mean, we really can't go on much longer, but just because
I want to apologize profusely to anybody that has managed to get through this
I mean,
because most of it hasn't really been that, that worth it.
it was on top that we had like two separate topics that were like half an hour each. That made sense, and then there's just this last hour that's been whatever the hell we feel like talking about.
God knows.
Mm,
Don't expect any more of these.
what?
Unless, of course, people actually, for God knows what reason, like them, then maybe.
Who doesn't
Maybe Kieran
love
will get somebody else to
who doesn't love filler
ban them.
content? Who doesn't love easy to make, low effort? What are you doing? You're pouring marbles on a table or something.
You know, you're almost halfway there.
Is it
Is it
Jaffa
pain?
cakes? No?
Oh my God. Speaking of Jaffa Cakes, have you seen their newest advert?
No?
Or I should say adverts that have
What?
been floating around on the internet.
No?
They're a bit weird.
I thought
I
they'd.
saw I saw two of them
Oh,
today. One of them was loads of kittens coming out of a tube of Jaffa Cake. No, McVitie's biscuits. And another was a really cute monkey-looking thing coming out of a tube of Jaffa Cakes. It was really weird because then they ate them afterwards.
huh. I thought you were going to tell me that Jaffa Cakes had finally got round to doing a co-branding thing with the Yogscast after like 5
They
years.
won't because the thing is with the Oscars is no matter whether they get it or not, they're always going to promote Jaffa Cakes. So it's just free money
That's kind of
basically
true,
from
yeah, actually.
McVitie's. So they kind of shot themselves in the foot with that one.
Hmm, yes.
But I'll leave you with that. Look up the McVitie's new adverts. See how weird they are.
That seems like a fitting ending to this complete non-event of a podcast, yeah.
We got one good thing out of several bad
But
things.
you've calmed down since the initial rage that rocked you and drove us to start this.
I think the rage mainly came from you not understanding what was going on. But, that's just an occupational hazard when
But
being your friend.
but now that I've proved you wrong, you've calmed down
We need.
considerably.
No, you haven't proved anything. You've only proved that your ego is bigger than your mouth.
I'm having trouble talking. The ego.
Well, it's been fun, Kieran, in a
Ugh.
weird way.
And once again, you will refuse to give me anything meaningful to plug for your trouble, won't you?
It's because I have nothing worth plugging.
I could tell people about the other videos of mine you're in. Does that count? Because it's kind
Well,
of
I
like
guess.
it's double
Sure.
plugging, double the
Good for
plugging,
you.
all the plugging.
Yeah, go on then. Plug yourself.
Plug, plug as hard as you can.
Plug, plug,
Uh,
plug, plug.
Callum is a regular. If you found him terribly witty and just like, if he just touched your heart and other places, then he's in plenty of other things on this damn pointless channel. So you're welcome to that. And I'm in all the things on this damn pointless channel, so if you hate my guts, you won't want to watch any more videos on this channel. But
They probably will after this. After this goes out. God knows what's going to
there
happen.
are people who've seen all 40 episodes of Oblivion. There's people who will put up with this.
So we got more D&D coming out.
Yup,
Possibly more of these.
yup,
And a load of stuff that you've recorded over several months
yup.
for people to look forward to.
Probably going to finish off Operation Genesis. This is completely pointless to even mention because it'll only be valid information for 1 week, and then anyone else listening to it.
Just give like the entire year's worth of what's going to happen to this channel.
Yep. Well, sit back and I will go through the list. Happy Wheels for 3 weeks. Then I'll play SCP again for
Ooh.
a year. And then the next video won't actually have any game footage. It will just be a face cam of me screaming for several hours.
That sounds good.
Only stopping.
Will you
Oh,
be doing a Shadow of the Colossus vid?
oh yeah, that's what it is. It's me playing Shadow of the Colossus, but you can't tell because
Yeah.
there's no game footage, and I never mention Shadow of the Colossus. I'm just screaming.
Will there be any more Deus Ex?
Yes, I'm actually like rubbing that against my groin while playing Shadow of the Colossus. That's what screaming is about.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
They're
Which
not they're not
version?
screams of horror.
The- Oh. And finally, will there be any Dead Space content on your channel?
Your future is uncertain, young Padawan, on this matter.
All right.
I wish I had my
Well,
magic. If I had my magic 8 ball with me, I literally would have gone. No, it's probably an
mm,
online magic 8 ball. You know?
yeah, but this is the end.
My
We
only
don't want to
friend.
ruin it
The
now.
end.
Send them off, Kieran.
Well, you tend to be better at that because you seem to have an infinite knowledge of obscure musical references to just pull out of thin air. I mean, you yodeled
Well,
last time we recorded something, so
yeah, well, you know,
just do the
all
big
right.
roulette wheel of random noises, and this will be your send off, dear audience.
You know what? I cannot think of anything.
I was really hoping you'd do like Celine Dion or something.
Celine, I don't know any Celine Dion.
How do you not know that one bloody song from Titanic that will never die?
What? What's Titanic?
Likes the ending to Lost, doesn't know what Titanic is. I'm not. That's not like a ringing recommendation of Titanic. I'm just saying, no. People generally
Okay.
aren't fans of Hitler, but they know who he is. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Okay. Here we go. Ugh. Da, 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 dun, da, da, dun, 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 dun.
No, if you keep going, I can make this the ending title card music. Keep going.
Oh, I don't know the rest of it. It's been so long
Oh,
since I've heard that tune. God, Fallout 3. All good times.
thank you, Callum.
You're welcome.
Kiss, kiss.
Hug, hug.
Mwah.
Enter your rectum.
And I think I'll definitely cut it off before that last statement. He lied.
So that's it. We're done.